Hey, everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with the second Indiegogo crowdfunding video that still doesn't officially have a name or a theme on both sides or anything like that. But these videos are to help filmmakers with crowdfunding. And so today, my guest is.
Hi, I am Scott Tepperman, Los Bastards Productions co-founder and owner, as well as the director of the upcoming Cruel Summer 3 and a Cruel Summer franchise, horror franchise, not the TV series franchise
Or the song.
or the song, right? That's been long, that's been around long time before us.
Why did you pick the name Cruel Summer?
It's funny, it starts looking like we're starting to fall into the old song titles because we had Hell's Bells, now we're in Cruel Summer. Hell's Bells was called something else. It was called Devil Music, and someone stole our title right when we were getting ready to launch it. So we said, screw it, we're gonna change it. We found Hell's Bells, which I thought was cool. Cruel Summer is exactly what this film is about. It's just this nasty, we wanted a typical 80s slasher nasty type of film, and I thought the title was cool. It was very recognizable to everybody. It's certainly, we don't have a lock on that title, obviously, as you brought up. I mean, there's songs that have been around and movies that have been around since and before, and everything. That's just the title, but I think it fits our film really well, and I think it fits the exact feel that we were going for atmospherically wise, and so that's what we're going with. Cool Summer.
Yeah, it's a good title, and
Hmm.
like I'd mentioned, this is a video to, not that you really need it because your crowdfunding is actually doing really well from what I've seen,
We're
but
trying.
I think any little help is good.
Sure.
So that's why I wanted to reach out and ask, would you like to do this, just
Appreciate
even
it.
if it can help out a little bit? Oh yeah,
Thank
sure. And so it's funny as I'm going to bring this up because I this is this is the movie how I met, or how I was introduced to you and Jim O'Rear,
you. Hmm.
and I thought you guys were hilarious. I mean, I'd never seen anything with you before. I didn't know who you were. I
Right.
I I do believe, I don't think I helped crowdfund this, but I bought a poster with all the autographs, and I
Okay.
bought this, and I thought you guys were hysterical, and that's how I learned about you, and I've
Thank you.
been
Thank
following
you.
you ever since.
Thank you.
And so it was an honor when I got to be in the first Cruel Summer movie. I'm in the credits, and I have like some photos on like a newspaper,
Hmm.
and that was awesome. And
Hmm.
now I get to be in part three, with its title of Cruel Summer 3, Pray for Fall.
Yes.
And now, are they praying, or is the guy preying on them?
So I was actually thinking of what to do. I was thinking if we were going to do a PREY, pray for fall, and just like they're just sitting ducks. But I just thought pray, let's just go for pray. And the main reason I just did pray for fall is because my favorite film, and if you've been under a rock and you have not known, it's Near Dark. And I always talk near dark, near dark, near dark. And pray for daylight is their tagline. And I just kind of wanted a little nod to that movie. I mean, that's the greatest film ever made, hands down, to me anyway. So yeah, there's a little nod to them.
It is a great vampire flick. It's got a great cast and a good
Hmm.
director and good producer with Cameron,
Hmm.
and all that type of stuff. So, and I really like being in this. I'm really happy to be back for
We were
part
glad you were in it.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I worked hard on that my little opening scene there, and so it's really nice. And then you guys did a sequel,
Hmm.
and this I did help with crowdfunding, and
Hmm.
so this is, and I like how you put this sequel, Cruel Summer Part 2. I like how the
Right.
sequel part is up there. I thought that was pretty cool, and
Yeah, my name, my thing is I love sequels. I'm probably in a shrinking majority right now, or shrinking minority, I should say. I just always loved sequels personally. And so I thought what cooler thing would be actually to call it sequel. And you've obviously seen the movie, so you see how it actually plays into it. It's not just, we're not just calling it that. There's a reason why it's called that and plays into the story. And yeah, I mean, I think it works perfectly.
Yeah, and I'm one of those weird people where I tend to like the aftermath of movies more than the first one. So like I liked Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 better than his
I
Halloween.
I did too. I did too.
And I told you when I watched this, as you asked my
Mhm.
opinion, I said I think I like this better than the first one.
Right.
And so now I'm really
It's
looking forward to part 3.
well, it's weird that you said that because that's exactly what I had patterned it after. You know, I'm not going to give anything away, but um, survivors of the first film are trying to deal with the aftermath and carry on with their lives as to what happened. And that's what, you know, a lot of people gave Rob Zombie, I don't know if we can curse on this thing, but Rob
Sure.
Zombie a lot of shit because they thought first of all nobody liked H2. When you talk to people, it's like that's his worst film, that's this and that. That
Mhm.
stupid white horse. I picked up a lot of stuff that maybe people didn't realize on that. So I really appreciate it. And I really liked how it showed a realistic portrayal of these characters dealing with the trauma in the first film. And so that's what we did with this one. And so I initially kind of tried to pattern this after Rob Zombie's H2. So it's interesting that you said that.
Yeah, it's I think it's one of his best films, and
Yeah.
I'm very hit and miss with Rob Zombie, but I feel that
Mhm.
it was very Rob Zombie,
Mhm.
and so it's I think it's a good film to pattern off of. And this was, you know, this comes I think right from you guys. Yeah, this was shipped out right from you,
Mhm.
and it even comes with. I don't know if people can see it, but it's whoop,
I actually have one here too, so maybe that'll show. It's one of these autographed cards.
there we go. Yeah. So that which was really cool from the cast and crew. And
Mhm.
these are the type of things that you get when you help crowdfunding.
Mhm.
So it's that it has like this kind of like a postcard type
Mhm.
thing with it, with you on it.
Mhm.
And so I'll never get rid of this. And I know that you could pick up parts 1 and 2 now through a different company.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's these things are rare, you know, especially when they start getting picked up by other companies. You
Right.
can't get them anymore.
Right. And what
And
I tried to do with these specific discs is that Scream Team picked up 1 and 2, and the art is amazing. They're loaded with bonus features. They did a knockout job on them, and they put them both out on Blu-ray, and they put them both out on VHS. I pushed for that because this is the kind of film that lends itself to a VHS viewing, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, my whole room is VHS, but
you're
so
very VHS. Yeah, yeah.
I really
You're a
wanted
VHS
that.
guy.
Yeah, so I really wanted that, and so they said, okay. The thing they didn't do is they did not put it on DVD, at least initially, because they said the sales just are not there for DVD nowadays. It's Blu-ray or up, higher or streaming. So, like you brought up too, I have a couple of my copies just because we did a video last night, but like all these things, they're on DVD and you can't get them on DVD. Like you get them from us, you don't get them on DVD. What I did also do is I put out Blu-rays as well that you have there, but the content that's on those Blu-rays, the bonus content is different than the bonus content on the official releases because we really wanted to make sure people didn't feel like they were double dipping. There's different art, there's different bonus features. There's not many on the one from the Indiegogo campaign, but it's still different than the official release. So people always feel like they're not really getting um, double dipped here. It's really a whole different experience. Sometimes
Well,
the color is balanced differently, the sound is mixed differently,
oh yeah,
um, different. So,
yeah, and this does say on here, Indiegogo exclusive.
right, right,
So it's
correct.
got the behind the scenes slideshow. So
Which
this
is
is
different. There's a slideshow on the official release that's different music, different photos. It's totally different. Yeah.
yeah, and then the first one here,
And I think
yeah,
that just
it's
has some different stuff on it too. So,
yeah, not so cruel summer featurette, 6 questions with the director, a glimpse behind the scenes, and theatrical trailer. And that featurette is 34 minutes.
right.
That's a pretty good length.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And
Mhm.
so, you know, I brought up so there's the first time I think that you and I worked together was on Meat Hook 4,
Mhm.
and then where you played religious dad. And through the miracle of technology, you could shoot your own stuff and then send
Mhm.
it to me, and then we just fit it in. So
Correct.
this is like the Indiegogo DVD. So now it's only available, I think, through like David Sterling and Makeflix as a Blu-ray, and then next month it comes out from Wild Eye Releasing. But
Okay.
this is, you can't get this now. This is, I
Right.
only made X amount of copies for cast and crew and for Indiegogo people. And so if you don't have this, that's it. You're
Right.
out. And this is all pretty much handmade. We kind of did the same thing here where I got people to sign inside.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I really like that idea. And so with showing all that type of stuff,
Hmm.
why should people give to the Cruel Summer 3 Indiegogo? Like, what are the perks? What are the advantages? What do they get?
So indie film it's kind of fallen on, I'm not going to be all preachy here, but it's kind of fallen on indie film to keep physical media alive. It's just a sad reality. It just is. Um, every place is doing away with them. All these big outlets, retail stores are doing away with any kind of physical media. Um, not only are indie films thriving on DVDs and Blu-rays, they're kind of still keeping that VHS market, that underground market that's maybe waning again, but it's still, they kept it alive a lot longer than it really was intended to. And everything is real grassroots crowdsourcing projects, because when you have a film that's not backed by big Hollywood studios, nobody really wants to open the door for you guys. They want to get the money, they want to do whatever. Amazon in particular too, they've started getting, give very, very, very little back on any kind of streaming or any kind of profit, if you will, if anything. And now they're starting to make it even more and more difficult for indie filmmakers to get out there. So it falls on indie filmmakers that usually have really good ideas. They just don't have the financial backing. And so, every time we say that we do a film, we I was just doing a video last night. That's why I have all my pile of movies on the floor here. But it really is like, that was our Nightblade family, that was our Hell's Bells family, that's our Cool Summer family, because everybody is really a big piece in making this together. We have perks that are $5 that literally you get your name in the credits, but if enough people do that, that $5 really goes a long way. And what we're trying to stress to people too is it's called "I Got Five on It." I got five on it, like from that back in the day song. But that money is pure because it goes right to the campaign. There's nothing that we have to fulfill with that perk. It's just $5. You get your name on the screen as it scrolls up, your name, thank you credits. But if you buy a T-shirt, and it's like, we got our perks really cheap right now because of the inflation and because things are tough for everybody, but it's biting us in the foot a little bit because I don't want to say ass, but okay, it's biting us in the ass. Makes more sense. But when you lower the price so much, there's not much room for overhead. It's a fundraiser, so you don't want to sell a $25 T-shirt that's going to cost you, after you ship it and everything, $15. That's pretty
Right.
much where we are though right now. We used to sell the T-shirts that for 50, $60, and we'd make a little bit more with the perk. We'd still, end up giving someone a perk. But now we're T-shirts like $25, so it costs us $7 to make them, $5 to ship them. That $25 that someone donates gets a lot less. And then, when you do these crowdfunding platforms, if at least with Indiegogo, I don't use Kickstarter, I've just not usually used that, but with Indiegogo, you can set a fixed amount where if you don't hit your goal, you don't get it, or you can hit a flexible amount. Regardless of what you raise, you'll still get that amount of money. We like to do the flexible amount because it would be a kick to get all the way up to where you need it and not reach your goal and then not get anything. That
Right.
sucks. The thing that we do is that um, we hopefully have been doing this for 12, 13 years. Hopefully we have enough, we've earned the confidence and trust in people that they can realize that these films are going to happen. All of our films that go out get international distribution. They've always been, we've just been lucky with that. Sony, ITN, they've been on shelves in Walmart, Best Buy, on shelves. I mean, not just online. Um, it's going to get out there. If we have to make a few concessions to work with the budget we have, we'll do it. We basically have the same crew that's been with us. We're like a John Carpenter crew from the 70s and 80s. We would go from film to film and work on it. So we all know each other. We would just try to pepper in different few people behind the scenes as well as people in front of the camera, some new people and new faces just to keep it fresh. But our main core group is always the same. And so everyone knows what to expect, and we know how to work, and we're able to deal with that. Our budget right now is 15,000, and generally we can make this type of movie for about 10. I just know we have this down pat. We've been doing this for years. Again, inflation is what's we're dealing with right now, and the fact that we have four pretty big horror celebrities on board with this one, which we have to pay air for and day rate and all that. That stuff airs up too, adds up. We have Santiago Cirillo from Walking Dead, Julio. We have Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, Angela, and that's kind of cool because she was what Camp Arawak, your Detective Arawak in the films. You see, it all came full circle. So,
Ah,
right.
okay,
And
okay.
and and everything that we've named in Cruel Summer, every character is either named after a horror icon or an actor or a character, and every place referenced is a location. So these films are like Easter eggs for real long-term hardcore horror fans. Someone mentioned Camp Blackfoot. Look it up. I didn't bring that. I didn't make that up out of anywhere. Um, our character, we have a character named Felissa, who's one of our stars. She's actually going to be in a scene now with Felissa Rose. Everything came full circle because it's kind of mind blowing. But then we have John Dugan, long term friend of mine from Tex Chainsaw Grandpa, and we have Beatrice
Nice.
Buckley, who plays Amanda Kruger, Freddy Krueger's mom. It's badass. So we have a great cast on board.
That's cool.
Plus, everybody from part one and two, yourself included, is returning to send this one off into the twisted, mangled sunset that we're trying to create. But we want to set it out on a highest note as we can without having to concede anything. Again, we want to kind of show that we're the little franchise that could. This one is getting out there. It's streaming right now on paid sites as well as Tubi. If anyone wants to watch them, Tubi is streaming both of them free. You don't even need a Tubi account. Just go online, type tubi.com, search it, play it. You have a couple commercials, but they don't cut the movie, they don't
I love
time
Tubi.
crunch it or anything. Yeah, that's great. And so those are on there to watch, and they're all over the place too. They're starting to be like FYE, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy. I've heard that they're on some shelves. I just don't know where. We haven't tracked it down yet. But Nightblade was the same bait. Nightblade was on Walmart shelves and Best Buy shelves, and we've had people taking photos of them there. These are getting out there. We want to show what people can do without a real budget, without really any support from the system. And it's tough, but it's all crowdsourced and it's really crowdfunding. It's a lifeline for us, like crowdfunding. It's always been, and people have always come through for us. If we didn't lower the prices that we usually do on our perks, we would have been crushing our goal already. So right now we have 9 days left. I don't know when this is going to quite air, but we have 9 days left right now, and we are just over 4,000 away from hitting that $15,000 goal. I'd like to hit it. I think we can do it. I think we need to hustle a little bit, but we can do it. I'm very happy with our turnout already. But again, we're having a lot of people donate, but the fact that the perks are so cheap, it's why we need a lot more to sell. So we're trying to get
Oh,
the
I got
word
you.
out about
Yeah,
them.
yeah, I got what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, that's
Instead of
true.
selling a $50 t-shirt, we're selling a $20 one. So now we need to sell two or three of them to get that same result. So,
Well, and
but other than that, I mean, I'm excited about it. It's a good script, and it's got the potential to be the best one as long as we don't have to compromise anything.
yeah, and that's why I wanted to help out. It might be a little late coming, but I kind of started these videos
I
late.
appreciate it.
And
No, I appreciate that.
yeah, and I mean, you've been in some other stuff. You're in Grim Reaper 2.
Hmm.
In fact, there you are right there. So that's
Nice.
and I'm in part 3, so which I'm
Hmm.
very happy about.
I have not
Um,
seen that yet, but I like those films. They're good guys. They do a
yeah,
lot with again, another example of indie filmmakers that have the passion and that make awesome films with little to no budget. This is just what we do, and knowing how to do it is something, because especially nowadays, everybody that has a phone or an iPhone thinks they're a filmmaker. You know that.
right.
That's not the case. You've got to edit. You've got to, plan everything out just in case things go wrong. You have to have contingency plans. You have to see it through from beginning to end. You have to be rejected and be able to take that rejection and move forward. And that it just empowers you to do better. That's just how it is. And it takes certain type of people to do that. And so we're all banding together this indie community. But unfortunately, we need the crowdfunding. If I had the money, I wouldn't ask anybody for anything. But I do feel like when we raise money, we give people certainly they feel like they're really making a difference and they're getting something worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you even made one of the Truth or Dare films. You made part 5.
Yeah, that blew my mind because I grew up emulating, I admiring and Tim Ritter was one of my idols when I grew up, and I'd see Truth or Dare on the shelves all the time, and in the video stores back in the day. And he was one of my true heroes. And so I made a book about overlooked films. And I just saw him on Facebook one time, and I just reached out to him, didn't know him at anything. And I just said, I just want to let you know that you've influenced me. This is, 11 years ago. You've influenced me very strongly in terms of, my wanting to do all this stuff, all that junk. And, he was just very, very appreciative and just very humbled. And he's like, oh, I see you're doing an event. It's not too far from me, and maybe I'll come out and meet you. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. But I thought that was the typical, like, yeah, okay, thank you, but whatever. He came out and met me and bought a copy of my book, and I'm like, please just take one. He's like, no, I'm going to buy one. Coolest guy ever. And we started talking about Truth or Dare. And I told him, I was frank about it. I said, look, I think they're decent. I don't think the sequels are as good as the first one at all, but they're decent. But I think you should do another one. And apparently he had a rough go with the fourth film, and he's like, well, I'm not really up to doing that. That was pretty rough for me. I think I may take a step back. I'm like, no, you need to keep it going. You need to bring the first killer back with the same man. Like, I was going on and on. He and I started talking for a while, and he finally just told me, he said, he told me he'd be honored if I would produce and direct this with him. And I was like, you're one of my idols. Are you serious? That's awesome. And then he hit me up and he said, I'd love for you to star in this film. And I was just blown away. And then I said,
cool.
well, can we get Joel Wynkoop, because he was so intricate in those films. And Tim's like, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but knock yourself out, see if you can get him. Spoke to Joel. Joel's a good guy. Little tough to work with sometimes, I gotta be honest.
He's a little crazy.
A little crazy. But he's a good guy, and we're friends now. Very nice guy. And to get him on board, that was a dream, that movie. And unfortunately, though, that movie, and we'll admit, I think that entire movie was made for less than $4,000, feature film, in 2017 or 2015, whenever it was. I think it was 2017. So he and I are actually going to revisit that film next year. Let's leave it that way. But people should be in for a big treat on that one. But it was a huge honor to be a part of that film. Absolutely amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like the whole series, and I like Tim Ritter. He's very approachable. I mean,
great guy. Humble as anything.
Oh yeah, I just sent him a little message like that, and he sent me back. It was like, oh wow, okay, thank you.
No, he really could. He's like, anybody else that was less humble and God, I can't even think of the word. Humble is just perfect for him. But he did Truth or Dare and he did Killing Spree. That's a mic drop. You don't have to do anything else. Like, that's just it.
Yeah, but Killing Spree's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's true.
He keeps going though. He keeps going. So he's a great guy.
And then you also have you got your Hell's Bells. So we got that, which is nice. And this is
we had Skippy from Family Ties in it, and he was the devil, and he was on the set with us, and he kept telling us, he's like, I haven't done a feature film, not playing myself or anything, in 30 years. And so I did the math quickly, and I'm like, that was Killer Tomatoes Eat France, and that's badass. If our last feature film was really that's cool.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun.
He's right there. Yeah. And then you also have, and this is your, like, you and Jim O'Rourke's movie. This isn't just you starring. This is another film that all these films produced, directed, all that stuff, along with like this is you had a lot of stuff to do on it, but it's not your franchise. These are your movies.
I kept telling Tim, because Tim's like, take it and run with it. And I'm like, this is yours. And he would send me a script, Tim Ritter, and he's like, read the thing for Truth or Dare 5. And I think I'm a pretty decent writer. I mean, I went to school for that stuff and everything. But Tim's like, read the script for Truth or Dare 5, change what you need. And I'm like, I'm not changing your right. You're Tim Ritter. I don't care what you wrote. I'm not changing your right. That's like sacrilegious. But yeah, we did Nightblade and Hell's Bells. Those are ours. Cool Summer's Hours, all those. We did Hospital, and Hospital 2 and all that. That was before I was partnered with Jim, but I was heavily on board for that and helped out behind the scenes quite a bit. I was producer on one of them, and that's where Jim and I really started working together initially.
I still need to see those. Yeah,
so many long time ago, so many years ago.
And this is SRS, so that's Rombong.
That's SRS.
And then the last one that I own from you guys, and you just mentioned it, is Nightblade.
Mhm.
So we got them.
Yeah,
So there's that one too.
and Nightblade was cool, but we had when and I like that art. We made that art, but then Sony and ITN got hold of it. This was their original. This is their art that was on the shelves, which is pretty badass
Oh,
too. And we had Todd Bridges in it, and Robert Lasardo and Betsy Rue from My Bloody Valentine 3D, and that was a great cast. And so that still is held up to be pretty much our the apex of our creativity. That one for a lot of people. Cool Summers now are saying that they're starting to eclipse that one. Like those are being their favorites, the Cool Summer films. So it's we set the bar high right now.
yeah. And I want to show these to, to show people that you're making a movie and the movies get out there. It's not like you make a film and then 10 years later it shows up, or you
Right.
start to make it and it doesn't appear.
Right.
It's all these that I've showed. These are all completed movies that either you've starred in, you've made yourself. Some are crowdfunded, some aren't, and you just have this in a whole catalog, including things I don't have, like the Hospital 1 and 2. You also have some other videos that I don't have, some like documentaries.
Yeah.
So
On Video Store, Dying Video Stores, Magnetic Highway Films. Those were I basically went up the East Coast and documented, went to video stores that were still in existence, spoke to the owners, toured the stores, spoke to some customers. It's important to preserve this kind of this whole practice of home video and home media and renting films that it's sadly disappearing. And it's kind of important to preserve that. So this is all this crowdfunding, even if you don't fund my film, which I hope you would. I mean, we desperately can use the help on this, but every dollar that you give us goes directly to either the production itself or fulfilling perks. Nothing goes in our pocket. I think we've mitigated it, and we've managed over the years to not lose our ass. We're not making anything yet, but at least we're not losing our ass on movies. But they get out there. They do get out there. Everything has been internationally distributed so far. So we already have interest in part 3, and that was before we even shot anything for part 3. The very first stuff that we shot for part 3 was courtesy of your footage, which is going to work perfectly. But before we even got that, we already had some offers about part 3. So
a little iffy on my footage. So
no, it's good. It's good.
I'm glad you like it, because I was
good.
kind of biting my nails, and I wasn't 100% happy with it. But if you're happy with it, and once again, that's the great thing about technology, is
right. It's exactly what we need. It's exactly what I was envisioning, and it'll work perfectly.
Okay, good. So that's
so thank you again, and thank Corey again.
Oh yeah, Corey did a great job,
and
Joe shot
Joe.
it.
Thank Joe again. So
yeah, he's always up for that. We work together, and so I'll work on something of his, and he'll do something with me. And Corey and I have wanted to work together for a while.
Nice.
And since it's a news reporter and she does that type of stuff,
it's like, perfect.
Oh, let's get Corey. Yeah, and I like Corey. She's a good actress. So
yeah, it worked great. I was very happy.
Good.
I found myself watching the footage with a smile on my face. I really did. Every take, because you guys gave me a lot of takes. No, I had a good time. I had a good time with that.
Oh my God, I don't know what was wrong with me. I mean, if
that was perfect.
If any of that stuff is used in the outtakes, I mean, I struggled so much through that stuff. I don't know why I had a block.
And it was good.
Just well, thank you. So, but and that's all part of indie filmmaking, and that's all part of supporting indie filmmaking. And like you and I didn't get paid for Meat Hook, and I didn't get paid for Cruel Summer. But the thing is that there is a respect that you have for each other, and you want to help each other, and so you do these things. And I've had people go before, oh, can you be in my movie? How much do you charge? And it's like, I don't charge anything. Just tell me what you want. And I'll do it. It's fine, because we're all doing the same thing.
Right. And I think the respect there is one of the things is that, and I don't know how your sets are, you and I've only dealt with you for a couple of years now, but we've talked on Facebook. We're Facebook friends, I guess, but dealing with you for the footage on part 1 and working with you on that, and then this, I could just see, at least for me, how the kind of person you are, and we seem to work well together, and that's great. So I can't attest to how your sets are run, but I know with us, there's no egos involved. We don't have time in a schedule to deal with egos. You know, we always said that, and a lot of these people are just starting out with us too, which is fine. But if you are out for yourself and you're on our set and you're out for yourself, you can go fuck yourself. You can, right? Just it's all about me, 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 me. No, we don't want that. If you are doing your damnedest and doing a great job and somehow you are a breakout star or you benefit from being in our films, we're 100% behind you. We're 100% behind you because you're in it for the right reasons. You know, I think the respect that you were talking about, and I could be wrong, but people know, oh, I'm not going to get paid in this, because they know the directors aren't. There's no money in indie film.
Yeah.
You know, if I was making $50,000 a movie and I wasn't paying anybody, everyone would be like, go fuck yourself. Me, fine, I'm not, maybe I'm not, I obviously have to secure our big talent, so they have to be, you know, compensated accordingly. But aside from a few things here and there, um, yeah, this is freebies for stuff. And in fact, the not only is it am I not getting paid, but most of the time, as you'll probably know too, but you dip into your own pocket to supplement stuff. You know, I'm not going to take from a budget if I'm realized that we're short on tape or we're short on this or we're running low on a perk or something. I'll eat the cost on that. But I'm trying to mitigate that as much as possible. And so what we're raising money for now, these perks are some of them are clever, some of them are fun, but they're not they're practical too. Like I put one up last night. We're putting two more up tonight or whenever this airs. Like we have just put up two um but we put one up the other night. We put two of them for the same perk, and it was feed the crew. And what it was basically you get a thank you credit, you get a crafty credit, a craft services credit, and what you do is it was like for 150 bucks. Um, we film a video of the crew chowing down during our one of our breaks and thanking you directly. It's personalized video for you.
Oh, that's
And that
cool.
means a lot because, you know, even if you don't like certain food, if you're out all day and you're busting your ass and you're getting crazy and you sit down, it doesn't matter what it is, that is the best tasting food you will ever have. And so to get that expression on people's face and their true thank you, John, thank you so much, you know, stuff like that, it's huge to have that. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. You know, that kind of thing. And I think that'd be a cool little perk. We already had someone send one in. Of course, we're building into the budget to feed the crew, but we don't have a budget to make this big crazy catered thing. Maybe we can have one or two hot complete meals, a little hotter, a little upscale, and that will be a courtesy of so and so. And so it does go directly to the production. And so these things really do help, and people do appreciate it.
Yeah, and if you you know, if you can't give, share.
Mhm.
So,
Sure.
share it, give the $5 or, feed the crew. And then there are times when I haven't been able to contribute to somebody who I want to, but I make sure to buy the movie when it comes out.
Right.
And so at least that way, I try to do something. So there's
Mhm.
a few different ways that you can help out if you can help
Absolutely.
out immediately. And
Yeah,
and
it's so sad too because they're, you know, everything costs money. And when you start this, I mean, you know, we're at like 10,400 right now for our goal. But 45 days ago, we had zero. So we, we've been busting our ass, but that's a good amount to raise in 45 days. We're very proud of that. You know, we have a 60-day camp or 50 days now, however long it was. Um, but yeah, I mean, we had an idea what we wanted to do. The problem is there's no money to start off with it. You have an idea, you have it on a script, you have people that are enthusiastic that are on board with you, but at the end of the day, you need money to make the film. So we don't even have money to advertise for it. And that's the problem, like on some of the social media sites, namely Meta or Facebook, whatever they want to go by. Um, you don't pay for advertising, they won't let you advertise. So you can only share the same link so many times before it starts narrowing it. They start saying, okay, we're only going to let 20 people see it this time. We're only going to get these same people see it this
oh,
time. And so we're trying to get everyone to share the link because if you share it, it goes to all your circle and maybe they'll share it and it'll get out there. And that's what we're trying to get people to do that. And we've noted we were pushing it big time the past day and a half. We raised $5,000 in the past day and a half.
oh wow.
And we only raised up to about five or six up to that point. So the sharing really does help. We're getting towards the end of the campaign, so obviously sharing and donating helps better because at the end of the day, the funding is what's going to make the film.
Right.
But getting people to know about the film and see what we do, you know, in our campaign for Cool Summer 3, we did a couple of pitch videos. I have a trailer up for that we recut to show some of the highlights of the other two films. We explain the whole story. We showed who we've worked with before, what we've done, how we've impacted the indie film community in terms of, what we're putting out there. And then we did a breakdown of the budget, a rough breakdown, but we still researched it beforehand. We said, okay, we're planning the film this time. This is going to run approximately this amount in this area. We broke it all down, and we have a pie graph for it, pie chart for people to see. So there's no hidden craziness. We show you where the money's going, and those are lower estimates too, because we are probably going to spend more than that, but this is a very good breakdown of where the money's going to go. And so you can really see where your dollars are going, and it really does help. I mean, everything truly does help. It's everybody donating $5 helps us make the movie. It's crazy. It's there's a very different sense of family and teamwork with these indie films that is really unseen anywhere else. And that's why I love doing indie film. I mean, I Saw is my favorite franchise. You can't get any more Hollywoodized than that. But there's something about indie film. I mean, you'll know this too, John. When you make a film and you're watching it, over the years you start watching it more of a filmmaker and less as a fan. I'm lucky because I'm still very in awe of watching a film as a first time viewer. Even like every time I pop in a movie, I own have these fucking movies I've had for years, but I put one in and I'm giddy like a kid, like I've never seen a movie 50,000 times. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be cool. My wife's like, you know this movie. Why do you? I just get like that. But when you're a part of the film, it's cool because you watch it and appreciate it on another level. You're like, oh yeah, that lighting. Remember, John, you were balancing on that apple crate trying not to fall down and that thing was poking you in the back. Like there's always these stories. And so when people are on board, even with donating $5 or one of the other perks, you share in that. You're actually really a part of everything. And it's a very special, it's a very special feeling. It's really cool. I love it.
I'm that's great. And that's how because it's and also just the crowdfunding, and I don't think it matters what it's on, if it's Indiegogo or GoFundMe or whatever, it's work. People don't realize
Yeah,
how
it is work.
much crowdfunding is like 24/7. You just
It
don't
is.
pop it up and walk away.
Sure.
It's an
You can, but
all
your campaign will
day.
die. You need to, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's difficult. So it's just even thinking of it that way of it's a job. I
Right.
mean, it really is. I mean, people are hired to run campaigns, but a lot
Sure.
of us can't afford to hire
To
somebody, so
pay
you got
them,
to
right?
do it yourself.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
But
you
when you
work.
do it over the years, you start knowing, you get a pretty good sense on how they're doing. And we're still lucky enough to have some private donors that kick in money as well that prefer to be, unseen and unheard, which is fine. They're a big part of the lifeline as well. But I mean, it really is. I mean, I can't. I really. I know the value. None of us are rich. If we were rich, we wouldn't be doing these crowdfunding programs. We just wouldn't.
True.
That's. I mean, seriously. I'd film my own movie. I don't need anyone's help. That's fine. I really do understand when we're asking people to donate $5, one to skip one Starbucks and donate to our campaign. $5. That's a lot of money for somebody. And for somebody to just, even if we don't know them, shit. I had someone I think it was last night. They gave me $500 for one of the perks. I don't know who this person is. I wouldn't fucking do that. And I wouldn't do it. I'd have to answer to my wife first of all. But it's amazing for people to do that. So we understand the value of a dollar, but we're just trying to say, listen, we'll put up a great movie and you'll be a big part of it. We do need your help and we need your trust. I think doing it so long, we have people's trust because we do put out quality perks for people and the films are tangible. Like you can go see 1 and 2 now for free on Tubi. Hey, I'm thinking of supporting this campaign. Go check out the first two. They're there for free to watch. Check
Right.
them out. Um, but it's really I'm honored when someone gives me a dollar. It's just you've given something that you've earned. I have no right to take it from you. I appreciate that. And so we can't afford to give perks for something that's under a certain amount just because we'd lose money then. But we invite any donation to any amount that you can donate is appreciated. But we'd like for you to get something for your money in appreciation of you supporting us. So that's why we offer these perks, and we think these perks are pretty cool. And you learn with each campaign, but I think we have a good campaign right now. Very excited about it and I'm proud of it.
Good. And it looks great too. I've been following
All right,
it,
thank you.
and yeah, please, continue tagging me so, so I can, have it on my page and stuff. So,
Thank you.
okay, well, let's wrap up. And
Yeah.
because I don't want to make these too long. I don't want people to, to tune out. I
Listen,
want
I'm
them
the
to watch the
easiest
whole thing.
interview. If people don't realize this now watching this, I'm the easiest interview you'll ever have because you can ask one question and I'll fucking go on and on for 2 hours.
Which I love,
That's
makes
not a
my
lot,
job easier.
right?
So, is there anything that you lastly that you'd like to tell people? Or I mean, I'll have links down below. So
No, just please. I will hope it would be us because we again we have a good cast on board. We're getting contacted by other big name celebrities that I would never dreamed would have contacted me out of the blue, asking if they could be a part of this film. So we're kind of just the eyes are kind of on us right now. I'd love for us to not drop the ball and just to go out the way that we have envisioned it to go out since day one. You guys are our lifeline and you'll make it happen for us. So we all greatly appreciate it. But if it's not me, please support under indie products and projects. Help John out. Help anybody out. I mean, these guys are doing hard work. It's not easy. It's really not easy. And I had one time somebody told me that what I'm doing between the fundraising and the filmmaking looks easy. I'm making it look easy. And I didn't know if that was a compliment or an insult, but I like straddling both on that one because I'm like, I agree, I get that. I totally get that. But it's tough work. And like I said, I can speak for me and not anybody else, but you have been our lifelines since day one. And we definitely need you if you've ever thought of doing it, please help us out with this campaign. That 15,000, if we don't hit that, Indiegogo takes out a big significant chunk of that money, which we desperately need. If we hit the goal, it's a totally different story. And we're only $4,000 away. We have cool perks available. We're still adding more in. And if there's anything in particular that you see us selling that is not bundled currently together, message me directly on Facebook. I will make a bundle package for you and send you a private link for that. You pay it through Indiegogo and we'll have that for you. We've done about 10 of them, I think now. Um, or if there's something that you just want that we're not offering at all, maybe we can make that work. So we definitely need your financial assistance, but we'd love for you to feel like you're getting something worthwhile and that you are a part of everything. So please hit us up. And thank you for listening to me ramble on incessantly tonight. I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
yeah, thanks everybody. And yeah, please, like Scott said, help everybody, and this will be up shortly. So you guys can just watch this and then click on the link and and like you said, if if you're not sure, the first two movies are on Tubi and they're free. And that's one
And I'll
way
be
of
honest, the first one's good, second one's quite a bit better. So we're evolving as we go, and the third one has the opportunity to be absolutely badass. There's Saw-worthy kills in it, but we need the budgets to make this come through. So I think you guys will be happy. Just try to help us out if you can. Every bit helps, and that's the God's honest truth.
okay. All right, there you go. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you, Scott.
John,
And
thank you.
of
Anytime.
course. And everybody, I will talk to you on the next video. Okay. Bye.
Bye.